Morning! My bike ride today got cancelled because of the torrential rain and just overall general bad weather. There is a God after all. Well, what a pleasant surprise that was. Yeah, like I said in the intro, it was due 7 mil of rain this morning, and I'm off out to meet a subscriber. You may remember him, a subscriber to the channel called Martin. Lovely fella. Last time I was out with him, this is the fella who has the Kawasaki, the Versys 650. And we went over to the Cooley Mountains the last time. We were due to go up to Donegal today on a 7-hour round trip, but like I say, we stopped those plans only because the weather is so bad. Who knows, it may well be further up, but look at this. This bodes very well for a good day out. In fact, I think this is the first sunny sort of day we've had this year. And look at that. I'm not even a kilometre away from home, and I'm going to stop already to tell you about this little place, because every time I ride past this little place, I just get a great sort of vision, because this little cottage here, if that's the correct name for it, this used to be the local grocery store. Now, I did a piece about this in one of my lockdown videos a couple of years ago, and I brought the Royal Enfield down and did some photographs of the Royal Enfield, of course, cafe racer style, outside of this, because it's of the same era as the Royal Enfield is sort of modelled on, the 50s, 60s. So back in the 50s, 1950s and 60s, this sold all of the vegetables, and well, it was the local convenience store, like I say, so everything else you would have got in those shops back then, but this served the whole area, so you can only imagine what it was like. And look at the lake behind there. Now, this isn't a fisherman's tale, but I once witnessed my cousin, who came over to visit me here in Ireland. We were fishing this lake, as I did regularly a few years ago, and my cousin caught the biggest pike I've ever seen. Now, he only caught a small roach, but as he was pulling it in and lifted it out of the water, this monster jumped out. Now, unfortunately, my cousin, myself, and some other friends were there to witness it, because I'm not sure how many other people would have believed my fisherman's tale, but I couldn't believe it. And actually, since that moment, I stopped fishing on that lake. I thought, what on earth would I have done if I'd actually caught that fish myself? My cousin didn't catch it as such. But he got a hell of a shock when the thing came out of the water. It took the fish that he had caught, and it took his line as well, and that was it. So that's another thing I wouldn't do. I'd never go swimming in that lake. I've heard of pike attacking people's, toes and whatever. But again, that could just be old fishermen's tales. Now the roads are greasy. Well, you can see they're glistening here. Yeah, we've had a lot of rain over the last few days. So I'm not quite sure where we are going. But it'll be lovely to see Martin again. And sure, that's what motorbikes are for, aren't they? We don't have to plan everything. It's quite nice just to go out and see where the road takes us. Just lovely to have a bit of sunshine, although I've got the visor open and the fresh air on my face is it's bitter cold. Now that isn't a lake, folks, that's an actual field flooded, so that's proof of how much rain we've had. My God. Actually, I just hope the roads are okay for where we're going. Incidentally, today I've put on my old favourite in terms of clothing. I bought this outfit when I got back into bikes a few years ago, and I keep thinking I must get something else just as a change of scene for when I'm doing videos on the channel. But then I sort of go through the humming and hawing, and I spend a night looking at everything else online, and this stuff just works brilliant. This is the Alpine Stars, the Andes 2 Tourer jacket and trousers, and they're all thermal lined. Of course, you can take that lining out, but it really is cracking stuff. It's never let me down, and it's always lovely and toasty warm. So just have a little flick through to see what temperature we've got here today. We've got 5 degrees today, so it's not that cold, but sure, even when I'm riding at 0 degrees, this stuff always keeps me warm. I've got a base layer and then a t-shirt on top of that, and then a sort of overgarment on top of that, like another fleecy type of thing, and then this. So of course I should be warm. And then of course I've got the amazing protection of the GS windscreen, which I know you're probably all sick of me going on about because it's just incredible. It really does throw the wind around you. You don't feel any wind. So there you go. Anyway, probably about time to meet up with Martin now. And there's the very man. Spot that machine a mile off. It's an absolutely stunning machine. How are you, Martin? Well, that's a welcome surprise, isn't it? I wasn't planning that at all. Happy New Year, buddy. Good to see you, man. Did you get new tyres on?
Oh, I did, yeah.
So I've just literally hooked up with Martin. We're just on our way out on our travels. And look at how the sky has turned. This is a great Irish thing to do, you know. We judge a day by the weather. But I'm not surprised. You sort of have to, because it really determines what you can do, where you can go, and of course, most importantly, what gear you need to take with you. Now, obviously, on a motorbike, you're a little bit open to the elements. So the farmers, you know, they know the weather forecast better than anybody. Obviously, it runs down their families and generations. So I have a good few farmer mates, so I'll always trust their instinct before anybody else. In fact, we were going to be heading to Donegal. I think I told you that earlier. There's a postman up there in Donegal who famously predicts whether you're going to have a good winter or a good summer, or vice versa, that sort of thing, you know. And he became an internet sensation because every time he predicted that, he was always bang on. So I must get his phone number. Anyway, we're on the road. That's all I'm bothered about. We've just passed a fantastic coffee shop, but we're a little bit early into the spin for stopping already. So, buckle up, folks. Enjoy the scenery, enjoy the ride. I know I am already. Now, to the right of us, there's a forest in there, and I forget the name of it actually, but there's a park run. Don't know if you're familiar with park runs. Park run happens every Saturday morning in there. Now, about 4 years ago, and I tell you that, well, I know it's 4 years ago because it's at the same time I packed in alcohol. Actually, before I talk about park run, can I just say a huge thank you to everybody who sent me all those wonderful messages of support with what I revealed on my first video back this year. It really meant the world to me. I was really, really frightened about whether even to release the video or not. Even 5 minutes before it went live on YouTube, I thought, shall I pull it? What's it going to do? You know, in terms of followers, and honest to God, I've had nothing but an outpouring of support. So, huge thank yous. My 100-day challenge is going extremely well as well, with Jack from Moto Mogul. So onwards and upwards. So, but thanks again for that. But anyway, at the same time I packed in the alcohol, like I say, 4 years ago, I thought I'll get fit at the same time. Talk about diving in head first. So I followed that app on my phone. I'm going to shut the visor. My face is absolutely freezing here. Called Couch to 5K. And now you're sort of talking to a man here who couldn't run up the top of the stairs in the house without being out of breath. So I knew I had to do something about that. Anyway, after 8 weeks, I was running 5K like non-stop. I couldn't believe it. And on the back of that, I joined the park run thing. So long story short, I used to go every Saturday morning to the park run. But that became a bit of an addiction as well. What is it about me and addiction? Because my whole weekend was then governed by... That's a lovely column, isn't it? I must stop there someday. If I wasn't following Martin, I'd stop there and find out what that is about. You can't beat a good erection on a Saturday morning. Anyway, there you go. That's the smut out of the way. But yeah, my whole weekend was governed by the results from my park run. And the whole idea for me, or my goal, was to run the 5K in under 30 minutes. And if I couldn't do that, well, that was the weekend ruined. I mean, talk about an addictive personality. So as a result of that, I then packed in the park run. Obviously, the pandemic and the lockdown stopped all of that anyway, but I never really got back into it because I just thought I don't need something else governing or ruling my weekend. You know, it's bad enough looking at the weather forecast just to see when I can get out on a motorbike. But nevertheless, when I did beat the 30 minutes, I think my best ever time was like 27.5 minutes. And again, for a 50-year-old fella, slightly overweight, not the fittest, I was just delighted with life every time I came in and around those times. I don't know, sort of whetting my appetite. Maybe I'll get back into it. Who knows? Now this road we're on at the minute, it's Dartry Woods, or Dartry Forest actually, to the right of us here. This road we're on, there's a few times at night where I've been driving back from a job late at night on this road back home. And fortunately in a car, because the amount of deer and wildlife which come out onto this road is unbelievable. And the deer just stand at the side of the road here and graze. They're obviously all living in the forest to the right of us, but by God, it'd be dangerous enough. Well, I don't like travelling on a motorbike full stop at night, but I definitely wouldn't fancy hitting a deer. I would have thought that would be a very expensive repair. Very dear. Get it? Sorry. First dad joke of the day. So I've just taken the lead. Martin's behind me. Looks like a predator, that motorbike behind me. Especially when he's got the full beam on. Don't know if you can see it in the side mirror. Probably not. But great visibility on the road that bike has. Oh, this is lovely up here. Great roads. No traffic. Even better. We're just above Monaghan, County Monaghan. But we're coming into, well, the signs say that we're heading towards Ballybay town. So, oh, look at all the mud on the road there. That's what I don't like at this time of year. The tractors which are coming out of the fields just leave a load of crap all over the mud. You've got to be careful on roads like this. But yeah, we're heading towards Ballybay. Martin says there's a lovely coffee shop he knows there, so even better. But great roads. I've said a few times on my videos which I've recorded up in and around these parts that whoever the planners were designing the roads around here, they must have been bikers themselves. It's full of twists and turns and, well, just general excitement if you're on two wheels. Always nice to have a spin out with somebody else as well. Actually, there's a good few of you who've come forward to say that you live not too far from me, and indeed I've met a good few of you as well. I met Dylan and Glenn, as well as Martin, and a few of the lads that I'm yet to meet. So looking forward to that. Hopefully we can make that happen soon, boys. But I always love being taken out by somebody else to an area which normally isn't too far away from me, but I just don't know the roads, so I feel a bit like Phileas Fogg. Always doing a little bit of exploring. It's great, but to know that these roads are handy to me. And in fact, if you saw the one I did the last time I was out with Martin in the Cooley Mountains, I've been there 2 or 3 times since, just by myself, now that I know the route. This is brilliant now. I think this is the first car I've seen in a while up ahead of me. Nevertheless, it'd be a great spot for cops to sit, because I'm sure there's especially in the summer, there'll be a good few bikers using these roads. Just switch on the old 360 cam and see if I can get a shot of Martin behind me. That's the only thing about the Insta360 cam. Now, I'm spoiled a bit because using the camera, the Osmo Action 3 on my chin, you hit the one button and you're in record in 1 second. You're recording. so it's pretty much instant. And if you remember, I passed that field which was flooded at the beginning of the video. I thought that was worth telling you about. I literally pressed the button as I was riding past it, and I got the shot. If I was relying on the Insta X3 to get that shot, I would have driven well past it before the camera actually started recording. So I think it's about 7 seconds, 6 or 7 seconds after you press the button on the Insta camera that you're actually recording. In fact, the worst camera ever for that was, again, unfortunately, the Insta360, the 1RS. Cracking little camera, but by God, it had a couple of flaws. Namely that one, 8 seconds until you were in record after pressing the button, which for a moto vlogger like me, who only likes to start and stop as I think of something to say or that I want to point out something, it was a bit of a nightmare. So that's why I sort of had to ditch that camera. Picture quality was great, wasn't the best. Audio quality was bloody awful on it, because it was only 16-bit, 16 kilohertz rather than 48 kilohertz, which is a little bit like megapixels on a stills camera. Now Martin's signalling to me right here. I think we're pulling into the petrol station. Okay, park up and see what the crack is. What a great ride out so far though, I'm loving that. Oh! Switch that camera off. No!
There used to be a sit-down place in here. It's not in here anymore.
Oh, right, okay. Is this the coffee shop you were thinking of?
No, it's just a filling station, yeah. What is it?
Well, sure, we'll still grab a coffee here, will we? Unless there's anywhere else in the town.
Carrickmacross is a nice coffee shop. I'll check if it's open today.
Actually, yeah, Carrickmacross has got a few nice shops, coffee shops. What about the hotel there even? What's it called?
Bottom of the town.
Yeah, on the corner.
Can't think of the name of it.
Well, no, coffee shop's probably better for us. They'll probably think we're here to cause trouble, those bikers. Right, let's get the map out and have a little look. Okay, onwards. As you heard us saying there, that petrol station used to be a cafe, or a sit-in cafe. It's just a petrol station now. So we'll come up with a plan. Well, Martin has anyway. We're off to Carrickmacross, so you can see my sat-nav on the phone is in there. And there's a coffee shop there called the Red Door Cafe. So we're heading there. Comes with good recommendations apparently, and it's a 23-minute ride. And on these roads, that should be blissful. Incidentally, I don't know, for those of you who watch all of my videos, and thanks again for that, if you remember one of the previous times I rode through the town where we're going now, Carrickmacross, it's famed for its lace, Carrickmacross lace, and the lace company there had some of their lace included in Princess Diana's wedding dress. Not only that, many years later, and only a few years ago, in Princess Kate's wedding dress when she married Prince William. There you go, bit of local knowledge about Carrickmacross. Now, I hope you can still see me alright. I probably have rain on the chin camera, but I'll sort that out. We're just arriving in Carrickmacross, and the weather has turned, as forecast, pretty nasty. Bike isn't bothered at all about it. It's just I'm bothered about it. I have the Michelin Road 5s on this, and they're just fantastic, just like glue, even in the wet. They're brilliant, very confidence-inspiring. Anyway, one thing I haven't told you again about Carrickmacross was that, and I nearly forgot this, I got married here. How bad is that? I got married in the year 1999. This is when we lived in, actually this is an unbelievable story. So we lived in England, my Irish wife and I, because obviously I'm from there, and we got married, but we came over here, obviously because she wanted to get married in her own country. We got married on a Sunday in Ireland, because all of my colleagues and friends work in the media industry who were going to come over to the wedding. from my side of the things, and which meant that they all worked on a Saturday covering sporting events and whatever else. So the wedding had to be a Sunday just to make sure that I was going to be represented by friends. So the only place which we could find an island back then to marry us on a Sunday was up around these parts. Actually, Monaghan it was called, or it is called still, Monaghan, which is where the church is. So we had the wedding reception here in Carrickmacross. An amazing day, a great event, just fabulous. And what a way to start my still wonderful married life. To Mrs. Perry, it's just been incredible. Anyway, I digress. What I was wanting to say is that after the wedding, we went back to England. We spent a few years living there. We moved from house to house. Just finding our way in life, really. And then we thought, well, it was me who thought, over a cup of coffee one morning in England, right, I've had enough of living here. I'm in love with Ireland. Let's go. So my Irish wife, poor thing, had spent her life trying to get away from Ireland to embark on her career in England. She met me, and then I brought her back to Ireland. Incidentally, that restaurant there, the Courthouse, that is amazing. Top-notch restaurant, that is. They wouldn't welcome bikers, by the way. That's a place for a special occasion. There's Martin. He obviously knows where this place is. Where was I? So anyway, we moved to Ireland. We looked at a map, and because of doing what I do, cameraman, I thought I was going to have to be based between BBC, which was in Belfast, and RTE in Dublin. So we literally looked at a map and thought, right, let's pick that sort of rough-ish area there. We'll try and find a house there. So I'm equidistant between the two corporations, if you like. We ended up building a house. Long story short, a year and a half later, we moved into the house, and I was driving around one Saturday, and 7 minutes up the road from where we just built this house was, and still is, Monaghan Church, where we got married. Now, if that's not a case of it was meant to be, or your life is planned out and this was meant to happen, then tell me what is. I was literally shell-shocked, and subsequently all of our children have been christened in that church. We go to, even recently, Mass on Christmas Eve there. You know, it's just unbelievable. Oh, I don't believe this. There's another cafe which is closed. This is our second attempt at finding coffee. Oh, this isn't going well. Maybe it's going to be third time lucky, or maybe we'll call it off. What do you reckon, Martin? I'm starting to fade away.
Oh, geez. It's about at the bottom of the town, that one.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
It says on the website they're open at 3 o'clock.
Well, what do you reckon? Third time lucky? Should we try something else? I'll wipe the lens here. And this looks like we're approaching. Anything will do at this stage. Oh yeah, that looks like it's a sit-in place. And proper parking as well. And I've just got a whiff of the coffee. Oh, lovely. Oh, this looks great. Super. Martin, get off first. Okay. I was getting worried there.
We were on the one-way street, we couldn't go back down it, so I had to go round.
No, this is ideal. Oh. Right, let's get ourselves inside and warmed up. It's getting a bit chilly, isn't it? Well, that was top notch, wasn't it?
It doesn't feel as cold now.
Say that again?
It doesn't feel as cold now.
No, it's definitely warmed up, even though it looks as though it's about to snow now. But I was just telling the camera there, normally I can't drive past a slice of carrot cake, but a sausage sandwich often works better on days like this, doesn't it? That was lovely grub. Where are we? Just outside Carrickmacross, Circle K. There you go, folks. If you're riding a bike up around these parts, definitely worth popping into. Great little spot, that. Alrighty. So we'll head towards Drumconrath now, yeah? I'll follow you. Right, folks, that's probably it for today. Great to catch up with Martin. Great little bite to eat there, and some lovely roads on the way as well. Hope you enjoyed the chat along the route. Have a great week, everybody. Ride safe, stay safe, and sure I'll be back with you this time next week. Saturday mornings, 8 o'clock. Dave Perry, Wheelie Good TV. Over and out.